Welcome back to a Life Under Construction podcast. I'm your host, Rhoda Daniel, and I'm extremely glad to have you join me for the last episode of this season after our tiny little break. We had to take a small break from this season because of uncertainties in the world, but uncertainties in the world still continue. Unfortunately, I realized that if I were to wait for perfect circumstances, that's never going to happen. And so I thought I would get back to it and put this episode out there for all of you, ending this season that we have been on talking about man's search for meaning. Today's episode is aptly titled An Abundant Life because I believe that all of us searching for meaning in our life on this journey for a better life are looking for something more, are looking for something greater, are looking for an abundant life. So let's talk about it. The word abundant, by its dictionary definition, means more than enough. And so therefore, an abundant life would be a life that we consider more than enough. Logically, that would involve and include every good thing that we could ever think of, every want, need, or desire that we have for wealth, for relationships, for happiness, for pleasure, for power, for every good thing that we can imagine right now. Having those would mean that we have an abundant life, right? But let me tell you, unfortunately, that life that you just imagined in your head is unreachable. Man or woman will never get everything that we have ever wanted because that's not how life works. You and I both know it. Life is not the fairest. And also, if by any fluke of nature one person gets everything, they still would feel that they don't have enough. They would still want more. So that definition of abundant life, a life more than enough, would not actually work in reality because none of us are getting that. Then you might be asking me, then why are we talking about this, Rhoda? Just to tell us that this is not possible, that what we want or dream of is not going to happen. So the reason why I wanted to talk about an abundant life was because I wanted us to think a little differently about what an abundant life actually means. An abundant life is a life lived to its fullest. Let me say that again. An abundant life is a life lived to its fullest. That means wherever you are, whatever circumstances you are in, what is the best you could do with that circumstance, that would be an abundant life. It would mean not only trying to survive the life that we have or the lot that we have been given, as they say, but also trying to thrive in it, also trying to enjoy it, also trying to make the most of it. That would mean an abundant life. So then the question to ask ourselves is, are we then living an abundant life? It would mean striving for more, working hard, dreaming big, building the life that we want, learning, growing, evolving. But it would also mean making the most of what we already have, accepting our life, being joyful in all circumstances, finding meaning in what we do, loving the people that are around us, being thankful for everything, being anxious for nothing. That too is an abundant life. Clearly, that means that life will still have trouble, life will still have pain, life will still have suffering, and yet we were meant to live an abundant life even in the midst of all of that. An abundant life is accessible to each and every one of us. An abundant life is the destiny of each and every one of us. It's not only for the lucky few or the blessed few who seem to have everything right going for them. This is not only me saying it, it is so many countless others who have gone before me, who have lived life, who have found abundance in all kinds of circumstances, who say that abundant life is for everyone. Each and every single person on this earth was meant and created to live an abundant life. And what these people have found is that the best way to find that abundant life or to live that abundant life is by seeking for meaning in the life that we have and finding that meaning and living out that meaning. Viktor Frankl, who I've talked about a lot in many of these episodes, has talked about 3 areas where we could find meaning. He says we could find meaning in the work that we do or the deeds that we do. We could find meaning in our relationships, or we could even find meaning in our suffering. If we are able to find meaning in any of these 3, we would be on our path of discovering abundant life. Because the minute we find meaning, we are able to see and understand the reason for our existence, and therefore we are able to live a life that becomes abundant through the action of our living it. It becomes a life where we are not just waiting for life to happen to us and reacting to those circumstances, but we are intentionally getting up every single day and doing something with whatever we have, whatever little we have. Can we make the most of it? Can we find meaning in it? Viktor Frankl and so many others who have gone before us have believed that we can. And not only we can, but we should, because abundant life, as I said before, is the destiny of each and every one of you. So if you're struggling right now to even wrap your head around this concept of abundant life, because you're telling me that, Rhoda, I can't even do life. Forget abundant life. Like, I cannot even get through life. Why are we talking about abundant life? I get you. I understand you. I hear you. I really, truly do. But hear me out as well. This was not meant to be how your life should feel every single day. This despair that you feel right now, this hopelessness, this dark cloud of gloom that is constantly hanging over your head and following you around through your day, that was not meant to be your life. Yes, feeling that way for a few days, maybe. Feeling that way through certain seasons of your life, sure. But this bone-weary tiredness that you feel constantly, and you think that you have to feel this for the rest of your life, this despair, this hopelessness, this tiredness, this burden, that was not how your life was meant to be. Your life has a purpose. Your life has meaning. Your life was meant to be abundant. I don't know how I can convince you of it, but I very strongly believe for each and every one of you listening or watching that your life has purpose. Your life has meaning. Your life was meant to be abundant. And as I said, the best way to find that abundance or to live in that abundance is to find that meaning to your life, to find it in your work, to find it in your relationships, to even find it in your suffering. Because as a famous philosopher has said, that he who has a why to live for can bear almost any how. And right now you are stuck with the how. How am I going to get through today? How am I going to wake up tomorrow? How is my life going to look like in 6 months' time or 6 years' time? How am I going to do this? How? But we need to refocus on the why, because when we find that why, the how answers itself. The how gets done because we are more focused on why we are alive, why we are existing. Why does my life even matter in the grand scheme of things? Does my life even matter in the grand scheme of things? When we find that answer, whatever our circumstances, whatever our pain, whatever our hurt, whatever our grief, whatever our suffering, we are able to push through that. We are able to keep going forward. We are able to find that abundant life that is waiting for each and every one of us. When we find our why, life starts making sense again. When we find our why, we start getting that small glimmer of hope again. When we find our why, we start feeling joy again. Abundant life is just beyond our reach, but it's there. We just need to reach out and touch it. Maybe you find your meaning and your why in the child that you are raising all by yourself. Maybe you can find your why in the fact that the pain that you have gone through is something that can connect you with someone else in pain. And you can not only connect with them, but you can comfort them because of your pain. Maybe you find your why in the small poetry that you write every single day and sometimes share with your colleagues. Maybe you find your why in the code that you're writing, which you hope will one day become something beautiful. He who has a why to live for can bear almost anyhow. And my hope and my prayer today is that each and every one of you will find that why and therefore find that hope and therefore find that abundant life. As I said before, abundant life is not every good thing. Abundant life is living the life that we have to its fullest. And we may feel tempted to give up on life because in the past life has seemed to have given up on us. We may be tempted to just coast through the 80 odd years that we have or the years that we have left, just doing the bare minimum because we do not have the energy for more. We do not feel we have the capacity for more. Maybe the only reason we are continuing to do life today is for someone else because someone else is dependent on us. But don't give in to that temptation of mere existence. Please don't give in to that temptation. Don't give up on life. Don't give up on your life, even if life seems to have given up on you. I truly believe that there is still hope, there is still joy, there is still beauty to be found in life. There is still that abundant life that, as I said, is just beyond our reach. We just need to take that step to find meaning, to find purpose, to find our why so that we can step out and reach it. But it takes a lot. I understand that it takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of pushing yourself. It takes a lot of deciding that, okay, I want to do this. I want to try this. I've tried everything else. Everything else has let me down. Okay, maybe let me just try this. And if there is one thing you have left to try, try this. Just try this. If it doesn't work, fine. But if you are listening to this or you are watching this video, can I ask you a favor to just try? Just try this if you haven't already. Try finding meaning in your work. Try finding meaning in your relationships. Try finding meaning even in your suffering and see where that leads you. My hope is that it will lead you to abundant life. One of the songs that I personally listen to when I feel like giving up on life or feel like giving up hope is a song by Leanne Womack called I Hope You Dance. And today I want to read out some of the words to you to encourage you in your own journey. This is what she says. She says, I hope you never fear those mountains in the distance. Never settle for the path of least resistance. Living might mean taking chances, but they're worth taking. Love might be a mistake, but it's worth making. Don't let some hell-bent heart leave you bitter. When you come close to selling out, reconsider. Give the heavens above more than just a passing glance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. My prayer for each and every one of you is that today, through the hopelessness, through the tears, through the pain, through the anguish that you are going through, that you choose to dance. You choose to dance because though it may seem easier to sit it out, though it may seem easier to put yourself in the corner and isolate yourself and say, I can't do this. I can't do more than this. Though it might be easier to give up, I truly believe that it will be worth it if you choose to dance. It will be hard. It will be tiring. It will take a lot out of you, but it will be worth it if you choose to dance. Because both ways are hard. Both ways are gonna be hard. But one way the hard is worth it. And I hope that you choose that way. I hope that you choose to dance today. As Vivian Green puts it, life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain. Storms are always going to be there. One storm comes and goes away, and then we're hit with another storm, and then that leaves. And sometimes there are multiple storms at the same time that we are going through, and we are like, how long is this going to last? The best way to make the most of your life right now is to learn to dance in the rain, to enjoy the storm, to live despite it, because in that you will find your life. I truly wish I could meet you in person and encourage you and comfort you and motivate you in your journey through this path of searching for meaning and abundance in your life. But I'm still glad and appreciate the fact that you have taken the time to listen to me, to involve me in your life, and I appreciate you truly from the bottom of my heart for that. I hope that through this season, through any episode that you have listened to, that your life has benefited in some small way. And if it has, I would truly love to hear from you. Send me a message or leave a comment down below letting me know how any of this has helped you, because that would truly make my heart happy. And I will be back with season 3 after a break. Do follow along on A Life Under Construction's Instagram to keep updated on when the next season is going to be out, when the next episodes are going to be out, what the theme of the next season is going to be. Thank you once again for your time, and I hope that you continue living and pursuing the path that you are already on.